Sometimes it pays to be a copycat. Well, I'm talking about the shadowing technique. Shadowing essentially means imitation. Whenever you're trying to learn a language, when you want to capture the essence of probably the tone, the highs and lows of speech, it is an immersive experience. So, shadowing helps in probably mimicking that when you're learning the language or when you're trying to establish command on the language. Let's dive straight into this lesson and understand how shadowing technique will help us build fluency and command on English language. Before we start this lesson, let's understand some pro tips for the shadowing technique. First, try to mirror the tone, the highs, the lows, the easy flow of speech. All of that you should try and incorporate. Not just copying the sentence completely, but also the manner in which it was delivered. That's the first tip. Next up, observe once you imitate the piece. Are you sounding confident? Do you sound equally calm? Are you also sounding persuasive? All these factors will matter. So observe how you imitate or how you shadow. The third pro tip would be that sometimes when you're trying to imitate someone else, it may sound a little unnatural. Practice it to the point that it sounds like you own it. So, to become a pro at something, to sound like a natural, you probably have to repeatedly practice it. So, give yourself as much time to develop this skill, but make it a point to practice and ensure that you sound like a natural. Two very important points before we start with the shadowing technique passage for today. One, make sure that you have said each line, you have heard each line, you have paused the audio, and then repeated that line for yourself. Okay? So pause intermittently at the end of each sentence. That's the first thing you need to be mindful about. Second up, some of the words might be unfamiliar. It may be sounding alien to you. Don't worry about that too much. We have the words covered towards the end, the vocabulary, meaning, all of it. So that will really help you in covering that ground. But make sure that you have actually repeated it in terms of the pronunciation accuracy, in terms of the voice modulation, in terms of the flow of speech. So capture that essence properly. That is true, spirit of the shadowing technique. So now, without further delay, let's start the shadowing technique. I'll say the passage in continuity. What you need to do is pause, repeat, and play it again so that you are able to establish the flow naturally. I'll say the passage in continuity. I'm repeating this, but you need to pause at each sentence and say it at least twice so that once you are imitating and second time, maybe you will be able to capture the natural essence. Each morning, I carve out a few undisturbed minutes to recalibrate. It's a conscious pause, a moment to declutter my thoughts and realign my priorities. I don't rush into the day blindly. Instead, I ask myself, what deserves my energy today? This brief reflection cultivates clarity, which in turn enhances decision making. I've come to realize that deliberate calmness is far more productive than impulsive urgency. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters with precision and intent. Now that you've heard me read it out to you, go ahead, repeat the same exercise one sentence at a time. Take it slow and easy and record yourself. Because, as I always say, watching yourself is a powerful experience. And only when we listen to ourselves, watch ourselves, that's when we realize that where we are going wrong and what corrections we need to incorporate. Now, the extract that we read or we shadowed, we did come across some interesting terms. So, mindlessly saying something definitely doesn't make any sense, and I'm definitely not for it. So, here are the meanings of those terms so that we can incorporate these, vocabulary words with intent in our conversations. So, let's understand them one at a time. Undisturbed moments. Moments which require privacy, moments which is more in the zone of me time. So, for instance, if we want to introspect, if we want to self analyze, then we need undisturbed moments. The next word was recalibrate. When we need to change our approach, change the way we think or work, the word is recalibrate. It's important to recalibrate from time to time to keep up with the evolving times. I'll take two words in the next sentence. One is conscious pause, and the second one is declutter my thoughts. For instance, I like to take a conscious pause from my hectic routine, probably head out to a resort so that I can declutter my thoughts. Conscious pause means taking a moment to yourself. Declutter your thoughts means basically not thinking too many things at a time, more focused approach in thinking. There was another interesting term, realign my priorities. So, often what happens is we have a list of tasks to be done. Something suddenly comes up which takes, topmost priority. So at that point of time, you need to readjust or rather realign your priorities. There was a phrase, don't rush into the day blindly. Rushing into the day or rushing into something blindly means just going and doing it without much thought. So it's not very wise or prudent to rush into something blindly without a thought, that is. One phrase was deserve my energy. So when certain conversations get to you, which are not very productive, which kind of hinder your progress, then you can use a phrase deserve my energy in the negative sense. That is, I don't think this conversation deserves my energy. Or for that matter, you can say, I don't think this argument deserves my energy. You're trying to say it's not worth having this argument. One of the terms was precision. Precision essentially means correctly or accurately. So, the shadowing technique, if implemented with precision, you will see a vast difference in the way you communicate. Intent. Intent is the motive behind the action. So, for example, if I sugarcoat something and present it to people, then people will definitely doubt my intent. So, intent is the motive or the thought behind the action. I would say intent should always be pure. What was a big revelation today was a simple shadowing technique exercise gave us a wide range of vocabulary. It also taught us voice modulation, the art of imitation, and probably took us one step closer towards our, aspired levels of communication. Follow this channel closely. We have great, interesting techniques which will definitely bring about fabulous communication results. Happy learning at English Excellence with Chhaya.